You're listening to the Journeys with Rebecca Radio Network. This is Rebecca Jernigan, your tour guide into discoveries, coming to you live simulcast from the heart of America to around the globe via the World Wide Web, terrestrial radio, satellite, and podcast. Let's journey together into the realms of the unknown to the known in search of enlightenment, knowledge, and truth. Good evening. I am here in the heart of America, Kansas City, broadcasting live and heard on the Journeys with Rebecca Radio Network and, of course, all of my great affiliates. Please be sure to check out krocksradio1.com, and I want to welcome back kconlineradio.com. And be sure to check out my website, that's journeyswithrebecca.com, and welcome to the show. What a great anticipated show tonight. I have a wonderful guest for you. Her name is Wendy Kennedy, and she's returning tonight with the Ninth Dimensional Pleiadian Collective. Now, here are some of the topics that they would like to discuss, and they lovingly call themselves Mrs. P. So Mrs. P wants to talk to us tonight about connection to Source, healthy relationships versus codependent ones, loving the body temple, declaring your power as co-creative being, stellar alignments and connection with other star systems, and Earth's future role in the Galactic Federation. What a fantastic, fantastic show tonight. And for tonight, too, join us in the chat room, and you can get to that right from the front page of the website. On the top, you will see the tab Radio Show. A drop-down box appears. Click on it, and the Listen Chat button, just click on that, takes you right in there. And if you do have questions, because Mrs. P loves questions, please write your questions, and the chat room monitors will forward those to me. We'll get to as many of them as we can. And please, donations are needed, so if you can, donate to keep this journey going with all the great guests and information. You can use the donation buttons found throughout the website. And remember, for your donation, you can receive your own unique orgone generator. So check out the links on the donation buttons and make your donation today. My thanks to all of you who have donated. Thank you so much. Please be sure to check out Carrie Cassidy and Bill Ryan of ProjectCamelot.org and ProjectAvalon.net. And as a last note, remember that you can get a free newsletter right from the bottom of the front page of my website. It's a very simple form. Just fill it out. It's confidential. It's private. You will receive bi-weekly updates on the shows, guest information, and any changes coming up. So let's journey together. Stay with us, and we'll be back with Wendy Kennedy and Mrs. P right after this. Hi, this is Rebecca Jernigan. You know, readings are not for the purpose of laying out your life in a rigid path or pattern that is unchangeable. It is to present a potential course, and through this potential, explore your own gifts, tools, expression, and vibration of your soul direction. I can peer through the layers and dimensions of your own unique life path to discover what you need yet to work on. Clear and concise directions for expansion on all levels of your life in the here and now. Let's explore your journey. Log on to journeyswithrebecca.com or call 888-958-2768.
More than talk. It's entertaining insight and discoveries. You're listening to Journeys with Rebecca.
Welcome back, everyone. And tonight's very special guest is Wendy Kennedy. So let's invite her on. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Rebecca.
It's so great to have you here.
It's always a pleasure to come back.
Oh, it's wonderful. And let me adjust my headset up just a little bit so I can hear you better. There we go. Thank you. I have to say, before I let you get started, is I have this new little feature that I put onto my website today, just earlier this afternoon, and it's a little globe. and it's in my chat box. And when you see this little globe, you can see where everyone is that's listening. And it's totally fascinating because we have people from Tokyo and Riyadh and Belgrade and Fife and all over the United States, from Florida all the way up to Fairbanks, Alaska. It's just fascinating to me. So we welcome each and every one of you to this fantastic show tonight with Wendy Kennedy and, of course, Mrs. P. And that being said, let's just get right into it, Wendy. If you will, just briefly give everyone who has does not know you, some new listeners, just a brief description of you and some of the work that you've done, because you have been a regular, kind of, so to speak, on the show, have been in quite a few times, very frequently, and it's always a pleasure and certainly an honor to have you with us.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've been channeling for about 16 years now, and I've been working for about 15 years with the Pleiadian Collective. And I actually work with a lot of different beings for myself, when there are things that I want to know about the workings of the universe, or I have questions about my own personal life. There are different beings who will come in, but the Pleiadians tend to come through first and foremost when I work with others. And they are a little different than the other beings because they actually work with tone and sound. So that's why their dialect is a little different than my own. And it does change. It's changed over the years, and it's really dependent on the tones and the frequencies that we need in our field. And with the Pleiadians, there are about 2,500 of them in the collective. They are beings of light, so they don't have physical form. And rather than incarnating to a planet, they incarnate to a star. So they incarnate to Alcyon, which is one of the, they call it the central sun. And for those who aren't familiar with the Pleiadian star system, it's a cluster of stars. There are over 500 stars in the constellation of Taurus. And the Pleiades has been mentioned in many, many of the native cultures around the world. We've known for thousands and thousands of years of our connection with the Pleiades, and they're here to support us and assist us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And interesting terminology there, the central sun. When the Elohim communicate, they also talk about the central sun a lot in their communication, so it's pretty interesting. And I can hardly wait to get that information out to the listeners here as well as from the Elohim. I will sit down and do a private channeling session because it'll have to be pre-recorded. I haven't figured out how to do all of that and still be functional behind the mic.
It's a challenge.
So it'll have to be done that way as a pre-recorded show. It'll be kind of interesting anyway. So it's really, really nice that you are able to come forward and just to be so open and honest with their communications. And I know tonight that we had quite a bit of information, actually. You had sent a lot of the different topics that we were, going to be sharing on the show tonight. And I'm not sure where they want to get started, but if you have any other information that you'd like to share, because I know you'll be in and out as well throughout the show as well yourself. But if anytime they want to get started or you have something else to say before you get started, I know we have a ton of information that we need to get to tonight.
Yeah, if people have questions, I just encourage them to enter the chat box and throw the questions in there. The Pleiadians are very supportive of us asking questions. In fact, they kind of work that way to make you work a little, because unless we're asking, they can't really give us a lot because we have free will, and they don't want to interfere with that. So they're really big on asking questions. So while they've given me some topics that they wanted to talk about tonight, that's not the only thing that we can talk about.
Absolutely.
And in addition to that, I just wanted to mention two other topics that they are going to